Hi everybody and welcome back. Welcome to my channel. I am Mel from Melsdivination. It's Flip Through Friday. Today we're doing the magical messages from the Fairies Oracle cards from Doreen Virtue. That's coming up right after this. Hi everybody and welcome. My name is Mel from Melsdivination. I'm the owner, the operator, the creator here. And on Fridays we do Flip Through Fridays looking through my various divination decks. We have Oracle, Tarot, Lenormand, and anything is up for grabs that I share here. What I mean by up for grabs is it could fall any kind of category under divination decks. It's always expanding. We've done some Doreen Virtue videos in the past, and I will link as many as I can either in the bubble up here or in the description box below. So feel free to check those out. We're almost done the Doreen Virtue cards that I have. I believe 2 or 3 more decks left to share with you, and that will be it. Oh, actually, no, I think I have 5. Now that I'm thinking of it. Anyway, if you enjoy looking at flip throughs, I suggest you check out the rest of my channel. On Wednesdays, we do witchy Wednesdays. So we cover information that is all kinds of witchcraft, spiritualist, anything that is energetic and under that area, and astrology as well. We're going to jump right into this. If you are not familiar with the way that I do my flip throughs, I go on around the outside of the box first. We open it up. We look through the booklet a little bit, and I encourage you to hit the pause button if there's something that you want to look in further detail, because I don't spend a lot of time on that. And then we flip through the deck set to music. I do have the music already playing quietly in the background because right now I do have some loud neighborhood activity going on. It seems to never fail me when I'm ready to do something for filming that suddenly people start being loud. It is what it is. So here, without further ado, we're going to jump into this. So here's the interesting thing. I already shared with you guys my Dream Oracle deck, which was my very, very first Oracle deck I ever purchase. This deck was the very first deck I actually learned how to read with. What do I mean by that? I mean, this was the deck that I got when I was taking the angel therapy class. The teacher who taught us had several brand new Doreen Virtue decks to choose from, and this was the one that I was guided to, not told. My teacher didn't tell us. My teacher told us we could pick whichever one we were pulled to for the most. And this was the deck that I was guided to choose. So I have had this deck, my goodness, at least 10 years, maybe more than that. And it was the first deck I really started giving professional readings on. This is the one that I trained with. So it is near and dear to my heart. I almost never use it anymore. But for a long time, I did many professional readings just with this deck alone, and seemed to be pretty successful with it because I kept getting regular clients. This box is very shiny. It is glossy. Unfortunately, oh, and there's something stuck to it. Sorry, guys, it's kind of gross. It's just a sticker. There is, unfortunately, see, it says Angel Therapy down here. Unfortunately, this deck is no longer in print. So if you do resonate with this deck, you're not going to be able to find it unless if you look for used copies or some like Etsy selling of brand new ones, which are probably extremely highly priced, or maybe some copyright infringement ones. Originally, it was $15.95, but I've had this deck since at least 2010, 2012 maybe. So it's been a long time. Okay, so we're going to open it up. The inside of the box is pretty standard. There's nothing really there. This is what the backs of the deck look like. And at the beginning, I did use the book when I was still first learning. However, the book, so these cards are pretty beat up. I don't know if you can tell. Like, the edges are wearing down. There's going to be markings on some of them. They're pretty beat up, but they managed to hang in there. I did use the book a lot when I first got it because I was just learning, but I also used my intuition. I used what came to me, what stood out to me in the pictures. And we can talk more about how to read oracle cards. I can do a video about that another time. So as you can see, the book has been used pretty extensively. This is what the back of it says. Okay. And then we're going to get right into it. So we're going to just look through a little bit of the book so you can get an idea. And then we're going to get into the cards. I go pretty quickly with these videos. I don't take a lot of time unless if the deck is extensive. So this was published in 2008. There's just lists of other works that she's done. Standard contents. It gets into how to work with them. Again, feel free to pause because I'm not going to stay on this for very long. Oh my goodness, I keep bumping the microphone. I'm sorry, you guys. It's not in its usual spot today. I'm trying to have it closer to the music. Okay. And this little consecration or opening, I ask that all of my readings with these cards be accurate and specific and bring blessings to everyone involved. Please help me stay centered in my higher self so I may clearly hear, see, feel, and know the divine messages that wish to come through these readings. I used that chant to open up every reading for a very long time. And then I would call in whoever the client's guides were. Like, okay, can Samantha's guides come in and help guide her or whatever? But that's what I would do. And it did work really well. And sometimes, you know, I still do that, but usually I just take a deep breath and I call in the person's energy in my guides. Our practices change as years go by. So again, she kind of encourages you to mix other decks. We've seen that in some of her other booklets. And then it gets into the meanings of the cards. So for every card, there is basically like a little guide sentence that is actually on the card. And then in the booklet, it goes into more detail and then additional meanings. Because maybe what it's saying on the card doesn't actually resonate. And that's it. That's the whole booklet. The whole booklet looks like that. And there are some, not darker, but there are some guidance cards about like stepping away from things. So that it's not completely love and light. And then notes, and that's really it. They leave a lot of room for notes. As you can see, I've never used the notes because I would use notebooks instead. Okay, again, the deck is glossy. Oh, actually oh, never mind. The deck is glossy. But I'm trying to be set up where there's not much glare. And then the sides are gilded. And we are going to jump right into this. I'm just going to put on some better music. That is the Magical Messages from the Fairies Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. As you can see, it was pretty diverse. Diverse in the sense of there was recommendations of letting things go, walking away. It talks about jobs. It talks about love. It talks about seasons. It talks about families. Sometimes it talks about life purpose. And then it also has other guidance cards. I really benefited from this as my beginner deck because it was so diverse. It was able to cover a multitude of areas that I was reading around for clients, and learned how to trust my intuition and learned how to trust the cards of what was coming through when I was learning with this deck. Because what would happen is I'd get a card like holiday or birthday, and it didn't quite fit the scenario, and I had to dig a little deeper into my own intuition to try to figure out what the point was, what was the message, what was it trying to say to these clients. And when I would dig in deeper, I would find out, oh, this is what it means, and learned how to trust that. And that really helped me when I moved into the tarot, because cards like, for instance, the Ace of Pentacles in the tarot could cover many, many different situations and questions, and it depends on what the scenario is and what the question is and what's surrounding it and what's the energy. So you do have to use tarot to not just be a cookie cutter tarot reader. You really do have to use those intuition skills. And this is where I learned it with this deck. Now, I'm not saying that you need to run out and get this deck as a beginner, but something that has a similar vibration, meaning it has diversity. It has all areas of life that it covers, so that you can touch upon each area with some intuitive hits as well. I hope that helps you guys. I do still really love this deck. I just have so many that it doesn't cover love in depth the way most of the readings I get are around romance. Sorry, I just bumped the camera. Most of the readings I get are around romance, and I need to dive deep into the romance and into those relationship questions for people. So this doesn't cover things like that. So like, it doesn't cover sex, it doesn't cover passion, it doesn't cover anxiety or fear or many blockages. So this is, again, it's a great jumping off point, but it's not end all be all. I hope that helps you guys. Let me know if you liked this, if you used this deck and what you think about it. I don't even know if I've used it since Doreen Virtue has renounced her stuff, but it's been sitting on a shelf. Actually, my cousin Kimmy, who I've referenced many, many times on this channel, my very first reading I ever gave her was with this deck, and she wrote it down, and I picked up on things that she didn't even know was really going on with her, and there was no way I could have known. It hadn't like come to fruition yet. And fast forward, because we're talking, I did this for her when she was like 16, 17. She's 26 now, 27 now. It turned out to be accurate. So that's pretty crazy, because it was the first reading I really blindly did, not knowing all the information. Anyway, that's all for today, and I wish you guys the best. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you later. Bye.